Hello, Boker Tov. Welcome to the Abby and Ellie's spiritual journey.
Where we share wisdom and insights about healing life and spirituality. So what's today's topic, Ellie?
So, Boker Tov, first we're going to introduce ourselves. We're very happy to be here today. My name is Eliezer, and this is Abigail here, other known as Ellie and Abby.
And we are the Sapirs.
We're the Sapirs. And, we're going to be coming on every single day or every time that we decide to record this podcast, because a lot of stuff is happening in our lives and in our spiritual journey and our own desire to draw closer to God and draw closer to our own soul's true path. And we're very happy to just kind of share our experiences with you and share the thoughts.
And even for ourselves, just to document this. And it is completely real-time stuff. Nothing is written beforehand. We're just flowing with it because we really believe we have a lot of wisdom to share. Over the past, I'd say, 3-4 years, we've really gone deeply inward and done a lot of inner work and a lot of shadow work. And we have a lot to share on that. And we believe that not only does talking about it help ourselves process it and really understand it, but also we want to give these tools to other people to be able to bring it into their own lives and make the changes that they want to see and the healing that they would like.
Nicely put.
Thank you.
So, right now we're finding ourselves in the 3 weeks. In Hebrew, it's called Ben HaMetzarim, the time between Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz, and Tisha B'Av, when the temple was destroyed. And it's a little bit of an auspicious time for Jews, and it's also the hottest part of the summer. And today, I happened to not be able to sleep so much last night.
Which is weird because Ellie's usually great at falling asleep.
Yeah.
I'm the one who has the problem a lot of time.
So, it's a little weird. And this morning I was thinking about it, and I remembered on Shabbat I happened to read my daughter a story that was the Lost Princess story of Rabbi Nachman. And this princess, she was telling this helper, the second to the king, that in order to free her, he needed to go to this place, and he needed the whole year long to wish to have her free. And in the last day, it was very important not to sleep. What happened? He fell asleep. But I want to kind of draw this connection between sleeping and breaking your sleep and yearning for the temple. And we're just going to kind of talk about, like, what is the temple? What does it mean for us? And just one point is that I happen to realize, there's a special prayer called Tikkun Chatzot, the fixing of midnight, fixing of the middle of the night. And in this prayer, I think there's Tikkun Rachel, Tikkun Leah. I'm not really used to saying it, but I know it talks about this loss of the Shekhinah and the pulling back to draw close to the Shekhinah, close to the temple, the rebuilding the temple. And I'm just wondering what this connection between breaking your sleep. We break our sleep in the middle of the night. Sometimes you can arouse in yourself like this deep desire of, like, wow, Hashem, I want to draw close to you, and like I want to draw close to what this means, and it's the middle of the night, and right now, it doesn't really seem like the night in the summer, but this is the time now that we're also really yearning to figure it out and to come back, and you gotta ask real questions.
Okay, but I'm going to challenge you for a second because I just want to put it out there for all the tired mamas. I'm on a completely different journey right now. I'm all about getting lots of sleep. My adrenals feel like they really need it. And so if you're like me, then sleep is important. Don't feel bad if you don't wake up in the middle of the night to do Tikkun Chatzot. I think maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say anything that's more masculine or feminine, but maybe it's something more for the men. I don't know, but if you're a tired mama, just get your sleep. It's so important.
If I had it my way, I would have been able to fall asleep early and wake up early. Waking up early has been very, very nice for me.
But you know what? It does really, when you're able to like break your sleep, wake up, either just have that ability to, let's say, go to sleep early so that you could wake up in the morning, or you could wake up at 5 a.m. Just do those things that are so hard. It really shows a deep yearning, and it really like starts this track. It gets the wheel rolling like crazy, actually. Like once the wheel's rolling, it could just like go downhill really fast.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it really reminds me. Okay, I have a confession. I couldn't sleep last night, and I started watching Indiana Jones: Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I haven't seen that. You never really sat through that movie in my adult years to really see what it was about. And in essence, they're searching for this for the Mishkan. They're searching for this place where God is residing. I thought it very fitting that that it's the mill, and you said rolling, and there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where there's a big boulder rolling down, and he's running and he's getting away from that. But yeah, we get sometimes we just have to get out of the way. We have to surrender ourselves to what's the flow in life, and that's very much Tammuz where we're in. It's a water month. It's very much to surrendering to the flow that sometimes Hashem has other plans for us than what we have, and we need to accept and see what happens, even that if we have a very strong will to go a different way. Sometimes He's trying to save us.
But yeah, I would say like we're just at the brink of where Av is about to begin in 2 days, and they're both intense months that are not just hot physically, but spiritually, emotionally. A lot of things are flying in the air. There's a lot of confusion. We're trying to find this joy, but at the same time, there's this pressing, disastrous, energy of history that's on our shoulders, and just the heat, and we're tired. We've been here for thousands and thousands of years, trying to get back to this place, restore the fallen sparks. So this whole idea with a ball rolling down a hill is if you find yourself in a ball rolling down a hill, go with it, because it means you're supposed to change directions, which is actually what this month is all about. And I'm still reading up on Av, but the idea of reversals, in Tammuz, the permutation of God's name is backwards. So it really shows that this energy is about reversals, and there's a lot of other stuff too. But then in Av, it's the first month, we have the 9 days, and it's so depressing. But then all of a sudden, what happens? There's a complete 480, is it?
180.
180, sorry. There's a complete 180 where all of a sudden you have the happiest day of the year on Tu B'Av. So I guess where I'm getting at this is if your ball starts rolling down another hill, just go with it, because there's no point in fighting the resistance. So let's say you wake up at 4 in the morning, you're wide awake, and something's telling you to go get up and go for a walk, do some yoga, do do something that your soul's true desire is really going to feel. Don't tell yourself don't make up excuses. Just maybe go with that. Maybe that's this whole sleep thing.
On the other hand, if you're having trouble with that, and you wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning, and you're always, wow, it's so late, I'm rushing, I got this, I got to go here, just remember to maybe take a few minutes, and meditate and find your center, and know that it's still possible for you to have a good day and live a good day, even if you didn't get those peak hours in the morning. You go about it. Some days we're here and we're present, and some days we aren't, and we have to be okay with ourselves, that it can be like that.
Yeah, and I guess if we're probably coming to the end on this few minutes of 9 minutes and 50 seconds.
We have a few more minutes.
But my advice for this month is to really take time every day. It's my advice for life, is to have a spiritual practice every day. Whether it's going to be meditation, whether it's even just be going for a walk, or just putting your headphones on and listening to music while you're walking outside on the earth. But take time to meditate every day, and specifically this month now, Tammuz and Av, is meditate on what your inner temple looks like, because if we really want to see that temple again, we need to bring ourselves back to that temple. We need our souls to really want to be in our bodies. And I know it sounds crazy, but our souls aren't always in our bodies. Like when we wake up, we thank Hashem. One of the brachot is thanking Hashem for returning our soul. But in reality, I believe, and many believe, that sometimes it doesn't fully come back to us. Sometimes we're doing really cool spiritual things out in the spiritual world, and why would we want to be here in this stressful state? So we say Moda Ani in the morning, or we meditate what our inner temple looks like. Really call your soul back home. Call your energy body into yourself. Work on clearing your aura. Work on making it your own space so that the Shekhinah could really dwell. Because our bodies don't have souls. Our souls have bodies. And that is it's a shift in perspective that everyone needs to really fully understand and wrap their heads around, because our souls are so much bigger.
We're so deep. We're so deep. You're so deep. You're so much deeper than you could ever imagine.
So call your soul back home. When you're saying Modani, really, really integrate that level of it coming back to you. Make it a place that it wants to be, where the Shekhinah wants to dwell. And once we all do that, then I think, we'll be ready to receive the temple. And that's ultimately what we're here to do.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of disconnect, at least growing up, and anyone who's growing up in this world would say, what's this temple? We have our tradition, we have our synagogues, we have our our nation, and what is this, and what do we really mean? And it's hard to connect to this place where we went and used to offer sacrifices. But I think in the essence that the temple was our home, and it was like God's home. And Reb Shlomo shares something beautiful, kind of about a house, and what is a house, and what is your house, what is God's house. And he says that there's a level of choice in this world. There's a level of choosing, and there's a level that's deeper than choice. And he says their house has nothing to really do with choice. Sometimes we make and that's where you feel at home. If we're trying to deal with choice in a way that, okay, I have a problem, I need to figure this out, I need to figure that out. It's kind of, I've had this many times, being stuck in this analytical part of my brain. And it doesn't really feel good when you're stuck in indecision, or you're stuck trying to choose, and you don't have anywhere to stand. Should I choose this? Should I choose that? You're 1 foot out the door. So, what's the holy temple? As it says, in the holy temple, a person did a sin, and a person comes to the holy temple to offer a sacrifice and stands before God and says, you know what? I made the wrong choice. And Aaron HaKohen, whose yard site is in a couple of days on Rosh Chodesh Av, he's the high priest, and he comes out and he says, you know what? It's okay. You're still okay. Even though you made the wrong choice, it's okay. God didn't notice. You're here. You're home now. And, Moshe on Har Sinai, he taught us the holiness of choice. And that's definitely good and holy. But we're going to Yerushalayim right now. We're going to Yerushalayim to build the Beis HaMikdash. And this is the place that even if you choose wrong, God still loves you. And it'll be okay. And it already is.
Right. And can I add something to that?
Yeah.
It just made me think of something just so deep, that real connection is really about the repairing. The real wholeness is really about repairing, the brokenness. When you get in a fight with someone you love, or when you say something wrong to your children, or when they don't listen, and then it's like you have that disconnect, and then you come back to each other, and there's tears, and there's realness, and there's connection. There's something so deep and holy about the repairing. And so it makes a lot of sense why we had to go through this whole thing. And when we return to God and we say, I did something wrong, I'm sorry, and we come with a full heart, that's the ultimate tikkun, because we go all the way back to Adam and Chava and the original sin. What happened when God said, did you eat from the apple? that they told you not to. And what did happen? Adam blamed Chava, and Chava blamed the serpent. They didn't return right away. They didn't own up and say, yes, I'm sorry, I did, please forgive me. And what would have happened if they did? Like, we'll never know, really. Maybe Hashem would have just forgiven them right there. But because they didn't confess and try to return back to the source, they were banned from the garden. And we're still feeling that ban today. We're still feeling that disconnect. So it's really about getting into the heart center, getting out of the head, getting out of your ego, and just coming with a full heart. So, when you do your meditation every day, or your time of interconnection, just call it your time, like 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, whatever you can do, 2 minutes a day. Like, connect to your heart also, because that's really important to feel that openness and to feel that connection, especially for this month. If you want to really feel it, you got to get in your heart center. If you want to feel those tears and really hear what needs to be heard. So, again, we're going into Av, so we have 2 more days left of fixing of the eyes. So, remember just to focus on seeing the light in everything, seeing the good in everything. And we're going to be talking, hopefully, every day. So more will come about Av, but we're going to be going into the Tikkun of hearing. So stay tuned for more on that.
Yeah. One more short thing before we sign off. Or a few more short things, however we decide, because we're kind of snowballing off of these thoughts, and it's just with these eyes, like, I don't know. There's there is seeing what's there, but there is this level of longing with the eyes that you're seeing something that's so deep and so beyond what's kind of there on the outside, and that's the secret of this. It's being able to see the destruction. And being able to really see that there is a possibility for growth, and that all of our opportunities, our difficulties are really just growing opportunities, learning opportunities, and we should just instead of, a lot of people are walking around with guilt all day, of guilt that they think stuff that they did 10 years ago, stuff that they did yesterday, stuff that they're going to do tomorrow,
stuff even from their past lives or their ancestral roots that they're still carrying these wounds with them.
Yeah, so we should just remember that even if we're feeling like that, okay, the world is full of mistakes. That's how it is, and we needed to look with these holy Tammuz eyes that we can see past the mistakes and see what's possible. See that it's possible for us to live our highest selves, to live a prayer, to be our prayer, to be constantly yearning higher and higher. And we need the courage to ask God, to really tell him, we want this, and we want this now. I don't want to be wallowing around in self-pity. I don't want to be stuck in my past. I don't want to be stuck in a bad mood.
And I need your help.
And I need your help. And I need your help now.
Tell your loved ones, too. Like, own up to your habits or stuff. Like, it's okay. We all have our habits. Own up to it and ask for help. Like, when you get into that space, you'll be so floored by, like, just getting out of the ego, how much people actually do want to help, especially the people that love you, and especially Hashem. So don't be scared to admit and ask for help, and learn from our mistakes. And sometimes we do need to make mistakes 3 or 4 times just to be sure. Other people make mistake one time, but if you're not one of those people, I mean, me and Ellie have made lots of mistakes over and over, and we still do. But it's the desire, it's the real the yearning. It comes from the yearning to want the change. That's what it's all about. That's the starting point, and that's a great place to be, even if you're only there. Yeah, it's a great place to be.
Just say nothing stands in the way of will, nothing stands in the way of ratzon. And so as long as we just have a little bit of that ratzon left, a little bit of that will left, and also you grew up on a Theodor Herzl, if you will it is no dream.
So yeah, I would say with these last couple of days of the eyes, fixing the eyes, start with yourself. Go look in the mirror, tell yourself you love you. Like, the way we really see the world is really like the way we see ourselves, and the way we judge the world is the way we judge ourselves. So the best place to start is with ourselves. Stop judging yourself. Love yourself. and just be okay with where you're at. And the yearning and even the imagining, use your imagination about changing, like in your head, even that will eventually bring about an organic change, because we shouldn't really have to suffer through these changes. It should happen organically, and we should want them. So just be patient with where you're at, trust the process, and love yourself. You're awesome, and we're so proud of you.
Yeah. Abby, do you want to just give our listeners a little tool that you've been using to change your thoughts and experiences about imagining your truer self?
Sure. Well, I will
Just
give.
thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give like a short example now, and I'm gonna build upon it in the next episodes, because I also want to do one maybe in the beginning of the next episode, so to make sure that people really get it. But it's basically, I actually took a habit changing course. It was awesome with Shayna Narrow. She's a naturopath in Jerusalem, and she's in her Wellsprings, and she's amazing. By the way, just putting it out there. And I learned from her, which is like a lot of NLP stuff, how to rewire the brain to change habits. So I'm just going to give you a little tool today, and we could build off of it. And it's about, let's say you want to be somewhere, but you also are enjoying doing this thing that you know is not good for you. So that's kind of problematic. So one thing you could do is start by visualizing in your mind. Okay, for example, let's just say a lot of people's habits have to do with food. So I'm just going to use that. Let's say it has to do with, just going in the fridge every time you're stressed or this or that. So in your mind, you visualize yourself going into the fridge, and then instead of going for, or the cabinet, instead of going for that junk, instead you choose an apple. Let's just say, I'm giving you an example. And you do this every day, like in your meditation, and you visualize it in your mind. And every day you still go for that candy. But you start to change what's happening in your mind. And then it eventually like creates these new neural pathways that eventually you actually just start to do that thing organically without suffering, out of like pure desire that you want to do what's good for your body. And you don't even want that other thing. Yeah. So that's just one thing. You could start to change things in your mind before you actually do them in real life. It's a great tool, because it's especially for people who aren't ready to make the change. You want to change, but you're not ready.
Because if you're eating that apple and you really want that junk, you're not going to be happy to eat that apple, and the food's not going to go into your body that same way.
You're not lifting up the sparks like as you should.
Build the desire. So
that's one little thing. And I think I should do a whole episode on some of these other things. I think I need to do like a video, because I need to show, it's a little bit of showing. But anyway, start with that. There's another really cool thing you could do, and it has to do with like creating these screens in your mind, and you close your eyes, you get into this state by either counting down, bring your eyes back, just get into like relax your body. And then you have a screen on your right side of your brain, on the right side, and it's you doing that negative habit that you're doing. And you're just feeling all the things within, and the aftermath, and the negative emotions, and whatever comes with it.
Really be there, make the colors bright.
Yeah, bright and vivid. Just get in that image in your mind. And then you swipe it to the, you have a new vision screen from the left that swipes in and pushes the right out. And then you see this new habit that you're placing with. And if you really want to make change, you got to get in your heart. You got to feel emotions that are linked to it. If you don't feel the emotion, then it's going to be really hard to make those changes. So for me, we learned to have these anchors. And what an anchor is for me, like an anchor is, I visualize my feet walking on the grass. Like the sensation I feel, like the exchange of energy for me and the earth going through my body, and the feeling of the grass on my feet, like itching them a little bit. Like I just get really into that sensation. And then like another example would be just, this memory I have being at the Kinneret, I'm just sitting there and it's so peaceful. There's no waves, and I see this the glistening of the light on the water. It's shimmering, sparkles. And it's like a moment like that when I use my senses to get back into that motion, it brings me to a state of inner peace. So decide what state you're trying to feel. Get that memory, bring it to the front, and use this tool as an anchor to, you can use this anchor all the time, when you're working through hard times to get yourself back into a peaceful state. But use these anchors to really anchor in the new habits. Like you want to connect those feelings with the new habits that you're doing. So on the left screen, when it comes in, not only am I bringing my anchor in, but I'm starting to, so then I'm in that state and I'm feeling so good about not eating the junk, and I'm eating the apple and I'm feeling so good about it and so happy. And so you could just do these techniques in your brain, like repetitively, like, and with, day by day, and see what happens. It's actually really amazing. I've been changing all different kinds of habits. So that's just a nice tool for today. And we're going to be sharing lots of tools with you guys every day, or every time we do this podcast, hopefully every day, because we just love sharing tools and techniques, and we have so many to share. We have years of stuff to share. So, and
we hope you liked it too. Please like or subscribe
and comment. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, comment. Let us know what you would like to hear, how you've been dealing with it, any questions you have, any challenges, and we wish you guys the best day and beautiful day. And we have faith in you, and we, B'ezrat Hashem, have faith in ourselves as well.
Yeah, and we really want to, actually, me and Ali are both the kind of people that really strive off of feedback. So we're inviting you, because the more that we hear feedback, whether negative or positive, the more we can give. It's really important to share that. It's just the kind of people that we are. Like, everybody's different, but we happen to be those kind of people. So we're inviting you guys to comment, share, and let us know what you think. Let us know where we should take this podcast. And blessings for today. Until next time.
Take care.